fucking nuts?
You thought? You just...
I thought I'd add the little clip in there because,
Perfect.
yeah. So, horror fans, once again, it is me, the horror miser, Monty G. Yes, once again, we are here with my good friend Jen and Christain from Jen's Review in the Grave. We are going to be reviewing season 3 of Chucky. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers ahead, so you have not seen Chucky season 3, part 1. Stop watching. Go watch the 4 episodes. It's airing on Pickup right now, and then come back and watch the replay.
Go away. Go away. Go away now. Get away.
But come back.
Come back.
Come back.
Go away.
Come back. So now you've been warned because now we're about to spoil the shit out of what happened in Chucky season 3, part 1. So first of all, what do you thought about the first half of Chucky season 1?
I think
Season 3.
season 3. I really loved this season. This season for me was the perfect balance, the perfect mixture, because I've heard a lot of people who are big Chucky fans not really dig in the show because the biggest complaint is, oh, there's too much camp. And while there is camp in this show still, this season really walked a fine line of managing to...
Oh, you froze. All right, guys. It looks like Jen and Christain have frozen. Let's hope they get it back together. You're frozen, guys. So, well, we have to wait for them to come back. I'm pretty sure they'll send me something. So while we're taking a little break, I heard the complaints about particularly season 2. There was a lot of campiness in there. A lot of people were not agreeing with what was going on, how the show was. I think Don Mancini and the rest of the writers of season 3 decided to be a little bit more grounded. There's still campiness in it, but not a lot of campiness in there. I thought at least the first 2 episodes were sort of like a catch up, especially the first episode, sort of a catch up of what happened last season and where Jake, Devin, and Lexi are right now as far as what they're into. But we did focus a lot more on Chucky in this situation in the White House. Still waiting for Jen and Chris to come back. Looks like they lost the internet connection, so waiting for that to come back. And I really like how the season progressed, even though it was only 4 episodes in. Each episode, you got the first introduction of episode 1. We get to see what Chucky's doing. We get to see a little bit of what Jake, Lexi, and Devin are doing right now. There was a little nice interaction between Jake and Devin and how they want to consummate their relationship right here. I was going to ask them because I think with this being the 3rd season of Chucky, I'm pretty sure that I think it is time to end the story between Jake, Devin, and Lexi. I don't know if you can do anything more with those characters as what we've done with them now. I think their story needs to come to an end, and we need to get some new characters in to brighten up Chucky, because you can't continue to have Jake, Devin, and Lexi go on this hunt, find Chucky, get Chucky, try to kill him. They don't kill him, or they might kill him, but he still comes back. It's only so much you can do with that storyline. Let's see. Did they send me a private jet? Nope. Still waiting to hear back from them. Good. Take a moment here. In the meantime, let me just take a... Oh, wait. Here it goes. Let's see, my good friend Jennifer. Jen, let's see. I think the season was more grounded. I agree. I think you're right as far as those main characters. With season 3, you need fresh blood. Yeah, like I said before. Like I said, I really don't have a problem with the 3 characters. I call them the 3 amigos because that's what they are. Just like with Scream, you have the core 4. But there's only so much you can do with this, with the 3 characters. Looks like they're back.
You're here.
Guys, you're back.
I'm so sorry. This
that.
will not happen again. It will not be a repeat of last time. I promise. I'm so sorry, Monty.
Go ahead. You were saying?
I was saying what I love. I think this is my favorite season of the Chucky episode because there is a wonderful mix. Like people that are having problems with the show, too campy, too campy. This one walks such a fine line with camp, but there's so much heart, and this really gets a good balance where it goes camp, but not too
It's not
campy
as
like
campy
last
as two,
season.
and it still has its more serious moments.
Yeah.
Ingrained in it.
Yeah, so that's what I think I love this season. This is probably my favorite season because we do get some of those over the top moments, but there's some heart. And I know, like the last episode left me wanting more. I was like, oh man, we got to stop. I was very excited. What about you?
Very similar. Like I think the season so far, the first half really shows off a really good balance of like what I really like about the Child's Play franchise. Because usually we'll alternate. We'll get a more serious movie, and then we'll get a more sillier movie. You have a Bride of Chucky and a Curse of Chucky, and then you have like the Cult and Seed of Chucky's that follow them up. Season 1 and Season 2 are kind of like that.
Yeah, it's a good parallel.
And now this season kind of feels like it's a nice middle ground between the more serious, grounded tone that the first season took, and still having those campy, silly moments that season 2 had. Like especially in episode 3, we really lean into like the campy silliness of it.
But it doesn't go as far as some.
But it doesn't go nearly as far or as over the top as say season 2 did.
Yeah, the Bound episode.
Yes.
Yes, as I was saying while y'all were away, I think that this was one of the best seasons so far when it comes to as far as Chucky's TV show is concerned. You know, I like how the first episode sort of gets you caught up to see what I call the three amigos. You know, like you have the core forward scream, you have the three amigos with Jake, Devin, and Lexi. You know what they're up to. I like the semi subplot about Jake and Devin wanting to consummate their relationship. I actually thought that was fine because you really don't get to see that on television, especially with a same-sex couple. I actually thought that was a nice way because I liked it in the second episode where their guardian is talking to them about safe sex.
Yeah. And it was sweet. And she was trying to handle it the best you can. And it's uncomfortable no matter what you're talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
And representation is so important. So I think it's so great that this is in a very positive, loving way. And I'm just as invested as in the romantic side of the show as the horror side.
The Jake and Devin dynamic has always been like kind of even more than the Chucky killer doll stuff going on. I've really grown to like the Jake and Devin dynamic as well as I've grown to like Lexi's.
I was just going to say.
As well as I'm very curious to see like Lexi's relationship
with
possibly with Grant furthering explored in the second half of the season.
I'm here for I'm a romantic at heart, and I'm here for this.
I even think John Mancini might be as well.
I think he is.
Yeah, because it's about time Lexi has somebody because you know she's kind of like the odd person out, you know, because she can't seem to get. First it was Junior, then I don't even know, and I didn't know what happened with her in the second season. She really didn't have anyone to be with. You know, we have Jake and Devin. They had the little back and forth in their relationship, but Lexi needs a partner. We need to get somebody with her as well. My good friend Jennifer. Just here right there. It was rumored that Chris Sarandon and Cameron may come back. I didn't hear that. Did you guys hear that?
I haven't heard.
I haven't heard that. The whole situation of those two characters is so up in the air because back right before Child's Play 2 came out, there was a tie-in comic where Chucky killed both of those characters off.
Yeah, so I thought that was canon.
Yeah, Don has never really. He's kind of flip-flopped whether or not that comic is canon and whether or not the two of them are alive.
I'd be down for it, especially Chris Sarandon.
Yeah, I would be interested to see both of them come back if we wanted to. I think Don's purposely like, if the actors want to come back, I'll bring them back, but if we can't schedule them, then ostensibly they're gone.
It would be cool even if they don't come back as their characters just in the show. If the fans
would be kind of neat.
Fans would recognize it. Shut up, Marty.
I know. That'd be cool to see it.
Hey, I'd be down for a crossover. Yeah. Finally get that Chucky versus Megan. Team Chucky or you team Megan?
Yeah.
Megan is bullshit.
She just wants to do dances. She just wants to do fun TikTok.
Megan is fun. It's one of the worst movies of this year. I know that's a hot take and no hate to anyone who loves it, but it was a bullshit movie.
The year that has blood and honey. That's the hill you're gonna die.
That's
on.
the hill I'm gonna die on. Yeah. I don't like Megan.
Yeah.
One of the things I was going to talk to you guys about is because with me, I think it's time that we end the Three Amigos, just like we needed to end the scream with Sydney, Dale, and Dewey. We need to end there. But I think it's time that we say goodbye to the three amigos because there's only so much you can continue to do before the show gets stale.
Yeah.
It's like, they go after Chucky. They want to kill Chucky. Chucky wants to kill them. He kills everyone else but them. They want to kill Chucky, but they almost, when they think they killed Chucky, we got another good guy. That's the reason why I didn't like the end of season 2, because it seemed like a cop out that he was hidden underneath that Tiffany doll all that time.
Yeah, I'm okay with the three amigos. Like, I kind of want them to stick around because I'm very invested with them.
I would be okay. I don't want to get rid of them completely. I would be okay
Less
if
screen
they
time?
became more like supporting characters, like for a season or so. Kind of the same, and kind of filled the like Andy Kyle role did for season 2. Like, we get maybe a new couple of characters, and have like have the three amigos kind of like pop in at sporadic points and stuff. But like maybe would focus on a new group of characters or like something along that line. That would be interesting to see.
I would get that, but this season I wasn't tired of them. I love the lines. I love that Jake and Devin are back on good ground. I love that Lexi has, is kind of, and she's, what I like about it, and we're kind of on a cliffhanger because Lexi kind of fucked up with Grant, and we don't know how this is, because you could see they were starting to catch feelings. It was supposed to be just a job, and then she catch feelings. Hello, Russell.
Yo, Russell.
Hey, Russell.
Yeah.
See, Mari said, just let it go, babe. Enough with the hate with me.
He liked it too.
Yes. Thanks, for smashing the like button.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Russell. Yeah, because like I said before, in the first episode, I like how they show what the three amigos are up to, but they mainly focus on Chucky and introducing, once again, Devin Swaba is the president of the United States. I'm pretty sure you enjoyed that, Jen.
I love that for many reasons. Like, I love just looking at Devin Sawa. I'm a 90s girl, but like, I also love the promo before the show actually started and stuff. And, Chucky was doing that press conference and it said, it's rumored Devin Sawa was coming back. Who? I love that. Was probably one of my favorite things of the show this year. I fucking love that.
Yeah. That was when my ears started like, okay, you're doing something interesting, because I remember Sawa and Dawn had a back and forth on Twitter right after season 2, and you're like, man, it really sucks that I'm not going to be coming back for a new season, and fucking Dawn was just like, shh, don't tell them that you're not coming back yet. No one needs to know about that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a funny bit that they did.
That was a very fun. That was a very fun dynamic, and I like the whole president angle, actually. I was a little trepidatious at first, but I actually really like the whole president and White House idea.
I really do, too. And I'm very interested. It's fucked up, but I like that Chucky is assuming the name of
Joseph.
their dead child. And we don't really know exactly what happened, but we know this family is very traumatized. And even before that, I told Sparky, I go, I'm getting strong Kennedy vibes from them. And I think the show has really leaned into that.
Oh, yeah, you definitely get the Kennedy vibes. Especially with Henry's mother. She's definitely Jackie O.
Yes.
Very much so.
And Sawa really embodies Jack.
Yeah, he does body JFK quite a bit, honestly, which doesn't bode particularly well for his future. But, But
it's Devin Sawa and Chucky. I mean, it doesn't go good for him anytime.
That's true.
No, yeah, he always wanted to get killed. From then
None
and now.
of his stuff. Final Destination.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a horror franchise where does Casper count? He kind of gets brought back, gets reversed.
Goes back to being a ghost.
Yeah, he goes back, but he gets brought back for a few minutes.
Yeah, so it was funny seeing Chucky in the White House, and the fact that he's killing at random, but we don't know why. And I'll save that for later because we find all about that in episode 3. But he only kills at random. But yeah, I like the fact that they actually use nice practical effects when he kills the Secret Service, and not it seems like everyone's using CGI blood now.
Yeah. It's a harken back to the old, the very first Child's Play. I love that we usually mostly use practical effects. CG has its place and it can work, and sometimes that's all you can do. Yeah. But if you can, I always say go for practical if it's at all possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like the big opening kill for episode 1 with the Secret Service agent is a really damn good kill. Obviously, all of the kill scenes in this season were all really good.
My favorite was definitely Kenan Thompson. I love that kill. Oh, I
character,
love that
yeah.
kill. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's fascinating because it seems like celebrities, particularly friends of Jennifer Tilly or any other celebrity, want to be killed either by Tiffany or by Chucky. Because
Yeah.
last season we have WWE superstar Liv Morgan. She gets stabbed by Chucky. This time we have Keenan Thompson. He gets his mouth stuffed in an umbrella. Is that what it is? The honor being killed by a killer doll.
Oh, I mean, I'd love to be. I would rather be killed by Brad Dourif, but
I mean-
Chucky's a great one too.
Like a lot of celebrities are big horror fans, and it's super cool to say, "Hey, I got to be killed by like fucking this horror icon and stuff." And I'm sure Don's happy to have it, is because it's easy publicity for the series.
Well, some of these people probably like us grew up
yeah,
with it.
absolutely. Like a lot of the people, like I know that with the WWE wrestler, like she's a massive Child's Play fan, and she was super ecstatic about that.
Oh, yeah,
doing that and stuff.
And what I like about it is it doesn't feel like it's a paycheck, or it really feels
No.
like, oh, I'm cool. I'm happy to be here. This is
it's-
going to be fun.
it's super
Yeah,
fun.
I know, because she had talked about it, and she said she was a huge Child's Play fan when she grew up, and the fact that she was allowed to come on there, and then she was very honored. So
Mhm.
I really got to give credit, because when you see stars, and some of them can be a bit iffy when it comes to horror movies, but when you see stars actually say, you know what, I enjoy horror movies, I wouldn't mind being in one, and the fact that that some of these stars actually get killed, I was real shocked. Not to bring this up, that the woman from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Nina Marvalos, I have a hard time pronouncing her name,
Mhm.
was on the 4th episode. I was surprised to see her in it, but I guess
Yeah.
her and Jennifer Tilly must be friends.
I would imagine. Now, her kill was good, but I like Keenan Thompson's better.
Her kill was really good.
She
and,
was
like,
having fun with her part, though.
She was having a really fun time playing that like Martha Stewart parody.
Uh-huh.
That was really fun.
Uh-oh, what was it? It's weird because it was meant to be the 4th reanimator, where Jeffrey Combs, Herbert West, is brought back to the White House to bring the president back after a heart
Yeah.
attack.
Mhm.
Yep, that was the original idea for if we ever had a reanimator 4.
Mm. Just looking at these wait a minute, Marty says, which wrestling show had Chucky threaten Scott Steiner in Vegas? I don't know. I
know it was one of them. I think it might have been I don't remember which one, but I know it was promotion for either Seed or Bride.
I'm not a big wrestling person, but I remember way back in the 90s, Chucky did a lot with the wrestling community and would do, and like actually they did a whole thing where he was in one of the shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he's really endeared himself to that community as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it was WCW that did that or not when they were still around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Russell said it was Halloween Havoc.
okay, that makes sense. But like that's something I always find interesting. Like there's a very strong Venn diagram right down the middle of like horror fans and pro wrestling fans.
Yes.
Like it pretty much seems to be unanimous with each other. So it makes a lot of sense that they would have a lot of those elements.
I can see it overlapping.
Mhm.
But this is just such a fun show. Like, Monty, is this your favorite season, or do you prefer another one more?
Oh no, this is my right now. This is my favorite season of Chucky.
Yeah.
They've
Mine
done
too.
a fantastic job. Like I said, they one thing I didn't like about season 2 was the too much campiness.
Mhm.
You can have some campiness in it because it's horror, and I know that's sort of Don Mancini style. But when you do it overboard, it kind of takes it away, so you don't even take the film seriously
Yeah.
at all. But at least this season now they've turned down some of the campiness, so it's a little bit more serious. You actually feel sorry for Henry. You feel his pain, you feel his sorrow, you feel for the family, you feel something for Grant, and you actually feel sorry for Lexi, because she really wants to find her sister.
Yeah.
Despite especially what happened to her mother.
Yeah.
Exactly. I even feel sorry for Chucky.
Yeah.
That last episode, I actually did when we pull off the mask, and we won't spoil it yet for anybody, but people who have seen it know what I'm talking about. I was like, oh no.
Well, I think it might be partially you being faced with like this thing that you grew up on, like the franchise itself is acknowledging the fact that the franchise has been around a little while, and the people behind it are getting a little bit older. So
Yeah, that probably would be kind of facing your own mortality, but I even did.
I'm sorry, Marty, but I did not like RoboCop breaking Sting out of that cage. Not to go off topic, but that was WCW being desperate, because at that time they're getting their ass kicked by by Raw and SmackDown, and WCW was just was stretching to get some people to watch the show. So they had RoboCop break out Sting in the cage. Yeah, and I don't remember if that was actually Peter Weller in the RoboCop suit or not. I don't know if that was him or not. Some people.
I don't know. I wouldn't be. He might not done the suit, but if they had new voice lines, I almost guarantee it was Peter Weller. He always does
Yeah,
that.
because I don't know. Marty, let me know. Was that actually Peter Weller in that RoboCop costume? I don't remember if that was him or not. Because some people said it was him. Because I don't know if he said anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if there's new lines from it, then he definitely at least did the voice for it.
Marty would know. I think he's told me, but I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was that, and we get to see Chucky once again. Once he does his thing, he actually calls the three amigos, and they try to guess him, and they're surprised that he's shocked at the White House.
And I love the joke about how terrible
The
this
Wi-Fi is.
Yes.
Surprisingly shit Wi-Fi here.
No, I haven't played the game yet. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I'm too busy with Resident Evil 4.
Rogue City does look good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I'll take a look at it just to see if it's worth buying.
It does look fun. So.
Yeah. So now that we've gone, and like I said before, the first episode kind of introduces us. We see Chucky in the White House. We get to see what the three amigos, but we don't know anything about Caroline. Where is Nika? Where's Jennifer? Where's Jennifer and Tiffany? Where are they all at? We don't know yet. And we don't even see them again in the second episode because we get more of Chucky in episode 2 in the White House antics.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And I like it. I like us in the White House because that's a trope that we haven't seen too much, and you can do a lot with it.
You can do a lot with setting it at a White House. And I do also like I was very curious to see where the alum cast are, but I was like, okay, I'm interested. I'm also very interested to see what we're gonna do with this season, the new cast for this season, and kind of exploring them. So I was actually glad that we held off till episode 3 before we really started bringing back the returning characters.
I was too, and I'm even invested, because this couple, Devin Sawa and his wife, what they've built on their campaign promises is integrity and not
transparency.
Complete transparency and stuff. And then the wife gets in a little bit of trouble and has to, really question her moral lines, and she's doing it for her husband, so she's sort of doing it for the right reasons. But it gets really complicated, and Chucky really adds to her aggravation, and so does this patriot dude.
Basically patriot acting dude. So
yeah.
Yeah, I love the little guy from the CIA. I knew he's going to be sneaky when I first saw him, and I like the fact how he's guys has the goods on Caroline. Says, you know what? If you don't help me, I'm going to show this to your husband that you actually had an affair. I was like, wow.
But I also like one thing that they added about that.
We had already.
Yeah, where she has the line of her and her husband have already worked that out with each other and stuff, which isn't something you see very often where you're seeing a relationship that they do love each other, and they did have an affair at one point. They did have a tumultuous period, but they worked it out together. You don't see that very often in media, and that was kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it was an interesting angle. That's one thing with Dawn, as campy and over the top as he gets, he can really write very tight when he wants to and do a little something a little bit with a little more depth to it. Yeah. That's one thing I think that's why we come back to Chucky. I think one of the reasons.
What about Grant? Do we like Grant? Do we feel sorry for Grant?
He's kind of a tragic character. I didn't know how I'd feel about him initially. What won me over with Grant is the scene when they're at the Starbucks, and he's trying to be a cool guy, right? But he's like a little puppy dog. He is way too excited, not just for Lexi, but for everyone, the whole Scooby gang to be there. And he's like, I'll get you anything you want, and it could almost be needy, but it's not. It's endearingly sweet. And you can tell that he's just searching for some friends and a connection. And it works because as we go further on, the relationship progressed with Lexi, and I really like that. It really rings true, and they both trauma bond.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I actually do really like Grant. I was kind of questioning like, okay, he definitely didn't get a lot of interest in the first episode, but once we get to the second episode and we do give him a little bit more focus and like the scenes with him and his brother, as well as like the scene with him and Lexi and Jake and Devin at the restaurant, yeah, I really started to like the character. And then we get him in episode 4 more. I was like, yeah, I actually really like this dude, and I'm really interested to see his relationship with Lexi further develop over the course of the season.
He's a typical teenager, you know, he wants to be the cool guy, but underneath it all, he's a pretty decent guy. And another line that really struck me out, much like you with the affair line, is when he tells his younger brother, dude, you're freaking mom and dad out, knock it off. That sounds so authentic and like something an older brother would tell a younger brother. That really made it believable for me and endeared me to him.
Yeah, because I actually like the relationship he has with Henry. And I also like the child actor that plays Henry. He actually comes off as a sweet, innocent kid who is not annoying.
Doesn't put you in a diabetic coma.
Yeah.
Yeah, is not annoying and doesn't whine. You know, he truly. I mean, obviously, he doesn't understand what's happening because we see that play out in the fourth episode, which is kind of funny.
You're not too bright, but I like that about you.
That's one thing I really like about Henry is they're not retreading the old tired thing that we've done like at least 3 times now, 4 if you include in the Child's Play remake, of Chucky befriends kid and like slowly tries to grow up kid and kind of like turn with him, or like tries to kill kid, or like murders go on around it and kid gets blamed for them and goes, no, it was Chucky. You know, I'm glad that we are doing something different with Henry. Like, yeah, Henry's being exploited, but he's not like a cornerstone of Chucky's plan other than Chucky impersonating his doll and like messing with him taking on the name of his dead brother.
And also with Caroline, like, yeah, he's exploiting her and he would turn her on the dime, but I like how there's a question.
I like that dynamic.
I do too.
We'll get into it, but I was actually really interested to see more of that after episode 3 to see their dynamic further fleshed out.
Because she's like, I want to go with you, and he's like, it'll go by like that, and then we'll murder your teacher, and it's so sweet and wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you definitely got to like the actress who plays Caroline. She really nails it, because even during the first episode, you can tell that there was something wrong with the girl. It's like,
and you don't know which way she's gonna go yet, which I like.
Yeah. So not really much happens in the second episode. We get more interactions between with the president, with her mother, and then Henry and Grant. Really get to see that much of the three amigos, but I do like the teacher that was there. Who was a guardian. She goes there and she tries to vet them. I like the interaction with her right there. But then finally we get to episode 3, which I consider is one of the best episodes of the entire series so far when it comes to
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome because, like I said before, we don't see Jennifer Tiffany, we don't see Nika, we don't see Caroline, but episode 3 answers those questions. So obviously, what do you thought about episode 3?
Oh, I'm like you, Monty. It's one of my favorite episodes. It's definitely my favorite episode of this season so far, and it's definitely probably in the top 3 episodes.
Top 3, top 5 for me.
And there's so much like fucking Jennifer Tilly. She just, she just nails it. And it reminds me very much of Tarantino vibes. Women in prison, kind of that with her heels and how she talks and how she's like, oh, I'm not worried. How she talks to the Martha Stewart wannabe, and they're like making friends, and then she admits that she might have killed Meg Tilly, and then she goes completely bananas. And the voodoo dolls. Oh my God, do I love those fucking voodoo dolls?
That was a very fun idea. I also just really like I love the whole reintroduction. I love the trial sequence with Tilly in episode 3.
And Brad Dourif's daughter, where she's like, I'm gonna roll over your grave, but I love you.
I love you. I love like I figured after season 2 we were probably not gonna get to see Gigi or Glenn and Glenda again for at least for a little while. But I am glad that we still aren't like acting like the franchise had up until season 2, ever since conceit of just basically ignoring them and acting like they never existed.
Yeah.
I was really glad that we did get the throwaway line of Nika is actually keeping in contact with them and stuff. I like that little touch.
Yeah, I like that. The fact that I said, wow, they didn't ignore the twins. That's fine.
That's great.
Obviously, I like how the episode begins when
Mm.
Chucky actually had the dream of killing Andy.
That was such an interesting way to open it, because
Oh my god! Now I should have known better, just being a lifelong horror fan. But I'm not gonna lie to you people. I was like, no, Don, we can't kill Andy. No, Don, no. I bought it.
I was like, okay, like I figured, okay, going into this, like, okay, this is gonna be a dream sequence, or we're gonna cut away and then later on in the season reveal that Andy's still alive, like we've done with previous ones. And then once he kept stabbing him in the heart over and over, it's like, wait, there has to be a mulligan to this or something. There's no way that we're like just unceremoniously killing off like the ostensible longest running character of the franchise besides Chucky, like in this kind of unceremonious way.
I would have had this been the real thing and not a dream sequence.
It would have been kind of a cop out.
I would have respected it because the balls to do that, but I wouldn't have liked it one damn bit.
Yeah, as a fan of like Andy's development and stuff, I don't think it would have been a good way to close off the character. But for a dream sequence, it was a very effective opener to the episode.
Oh yeah, because to me, that's what I thought. I said no. There's no way in the world Dan's going to kill off, a character that appointment to the franchise like that. So it's probably got to be a dream. And the next thing you know, we see Chucky. He wakes up and he's dreaming. And his hair's falling out.
Yeah, his hair's falling out. He's getting crow's feet.
He's getting crow's feet.
And I love how they play in, and it's very smart how we do the Phantom of the Opera because it kind of parallels the monster.
Episode 4, I really liked how those.
Yeah, Russell said, "Yeah, I bet that scene's confused a lot of people." I said, that's a good. But I said, no, got to give Dan credit. I said he and the writers did a fantastic job of starting that episode off right.
Yeah,
because the fact that we get the it's a flashback because again we don't know what happened, and then I love the interactions between Caroline and Chucky.
Oh yeah,
those were great. I loved the one where like Chucky's gonna do the soul transfer into Caroline's body. It doesn't work, and she's just like, "I could have told you that it wasn't gonna work if you asked me." Like, I really liked that dynamic. Again, I really want to see more of like Chucky and Caroline's dynamic explored a little bit more because I really like it that like it shows like she's still a child, but she's also smart enough to recognize that Chucky has fucked over every single person he's ever been partnered with at some point, so
and also,
she knows not to fully trust him.
And also, Chucky kind of sees her as a possible prodigy.
Yeah, very much so,
and kind of a mentor, which is it's a neat dynamic. And like later in the scene when he's like, "I'll be back," and you can tell, like I believe he would totally screw her over if he had to. But you also think, for as much as Chucky can, he kind of cares. It's sort of like Jennifer Tilly.
It's a different dynamic than it was with like Jake or Junior or any of the other kids that he was kind of has exploited before in the franchise. It's a slightly different dynamic, and I'm really curious to see where it goes from here.
I am too.
Yeah, because I knew the spell wasn't working because when he recites the "Give me the power, I beg of you," and there's no lightning bolt.
There's no lightning bolt. Nope.
There's no lightning bolt. There's no CGI clouds.
And I also love, and it's just maybe the heathen in me, but I love how basically they tell Chucky, "Oh, you were in a Christian thing that you fucked up."
That was funny.
That
whole scene was funny. I said, you know what? That's fantastic. You go to a facility that specializes in voodoo curses.
Oh, that whole scene. And then the other people in the office too. It just worked so well.
That is one of the most weirdest and silliest ideas that has ever been introduced in this franchise, but I really like it, honestly.
And how he squeezes Chucky's balls.
That was fun. So like that, give it to me straight.
I said to myself, "Oh, Jen's gonna crack up on that one."
She did.
I did.
You have the woman. She's talking about, "Oh no, I'm gonna get that curse," and then the dude with his ex-wife in the box, and she's screaming.
That was so good.
I said, "This is fantastic." But then the doctor tells Chucky, says, "You've been cursed with Christianity."
I love that.
One of the best lines in this series.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best lines.
But I also really liked when he said, because you're not exactly what I expect, Doc. Well, next time I'll have my goats in the lobby.
And stuff. I love the deadpan delivery. That role totally could have been played by like Ben Stein or something in the like midnight if this was in the mid-90s. Like,
totally.
I love the actor who played the doctor. Who was so deadpan.
He says, "Damn, Don Bala has abandoned you because you've been because of the exorcism that they performed on him in the season 2, and it's like Don Bala has cursed has abandoned you." Says, "Well, how can I fix this, Doc?"
Give it to me straight.
Give it to me. I can handle it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that whole scene cracked me up, and then of course they have to go to the Amityville house.
They
Oh.
have to go to the fucking Amityville house, which is just such
You kids and your lack of history.
your kids and your lack of history. That whole sequence at the Amityville house, I was like, oh my god, this is kind of amazing, honestly. I love that whole sequence. Even though like the murderers themselves were like off screen, that whole sequence was just really good and fun.
And then of course that doesn't work.
That doesn't
doesn't
work.
work.
That doesn't work. No.
We'll have to go to a much more evil.
Amityville is nowhere near as evil enough of a place.
Although I like how Caroline tells him, no one has actually been killed at the White House.
I know, right? That was a nice little thing to mention. And he just goes through like, yeah, but the people who died because of this building is incountable.
Yeah, so that was interesting. So we finally get to see, how Chucky gets to the White House, but then we also get the trial of Jennifer Tiffany, and that was fantastic.
Oh.
You give Jennifer Tiffany credit, how she plays an exaggerated version of herself.
It's so fun though, and you can tell that Jennifer Tilly is having such a goddamn blast playing this role. She loves doing Tiffany, and it is so fun. And I love that she's like totally fine with them also just poking a little bit of fun at her at like her career and stuff too.
They bring up Liar Liar.
Yeah,
bring up Liar.
And I love the quick cuts to like it's Jake, Devin, Lexi, and Nika's all of their testimonies against her. I love how all of them get more and more petty. And I think it's Devin's who just says something about like her fashion sense. Or it was Nika's who says she made her watch Liar Liar over and over again, and that's the one that the courthouse gasps to.
I think it was Devin who said, "And her fashion sense is horrifying."
That one's really good. But I really love Nika's thing of like, and she made me watch Liar Liar on repeat for 2 years, and the whole courthouse just gasped at that idea.
And I love how Nika just goes, "I'm gonna roll over
your grave."
I'll get it again.
I think the funniest thing was Tiffany actually me. I'm not Jennifer. I'm Tiffany Valentine. She basically gives a flashback of Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. And for someone like me who actually liked Seed, that was a treat.
That was fun.
Not many people like Seed, even big fans.
I am really glad that they've they haven't with ever since season 2, they've like started to like embrace Seed a little bit more and acknowledge like it's not a massive cult following, but that still is still has a big cult following in the fandom, especially amongst the queer fan base. And I do like that Dawn has been more okay with embracing the fact of like, yeah, that's a part of the franchise. Like people may not like it, but it's part of the franchise, and I'm still going to acknowledge it. Fuck you guys.
I still have never understood why people hate that one so much. I've always liked it.
It's still the most silly of them, but it has.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why for me, Seed of Chucky was it was kind of a very, very too much campiness in the series, and really strayed off from obviously what the series was about. I didn't mind the Glenda aspect of it. I didn't mind that, but I thought for some reason it lost its steam after following up with Bride of Chucky. It was Bride of Chucky I thought was very good, and to come up with follow up with Seed of Chucky, I thought that was kind of a downer. Kind of banana. I mean, I don't hate films at all. I think hate is just too much of a strong word, But to me, it's like with that and Cult of Chucky, those are the two weakest of the whole franchise when it comes to the movie is concerned.
I really like Cult of Chucky.
Cult's fun. Cults I've always been.
Creepy McGee likes it. He loves Seed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you. At least there's one person. Hi, Creepy.
Except for that nosy bitch. Except for that nosy bitch.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, yeah, see, I think a lot of people did love Jennifer Tilly playing herself.
Yeah, like I think the series, the TV show, has really looked at what happened and seeing like, okay, we're gonna take the most interesting and best elements. We're gonna take the like Jennifer Tilly, Tiffany possessing Jennifer Tilly. We're going to like keep Glenn and Glenda around and kind of update them with a little bit more modern language, but we're gonna keep basically the core ideas for them around and stuff. And they, getting rid of, not cutting away the chaff of a lot of the other weaker elements that didn't work about Seed.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they did, and they've done it brilliantly.
Mhm.
Dawn is just genius.
Like, that's the thing I find super cool about the Child's Play franchise, is the fact that it is like the only horror franchise that has always been under like one person's control, and like while it has felt like it has had no grand scheme or anything, it does feel like it has slowly started to like make sense, and everything is flowing in together to where everything just syncs up super well.
Yeah, but you still don't know. There's twists and turns, and sometimes it can surprise you.
Yeah, there's still
there's heart.
Yeah, there's heart, and there's still like a lot of unanswered questions from various movies. Like I still would really like, even though I'm not the biggest Child's Play 3 fan, I still would like to see a follow-up to that movie and actually like see some of the characters from that movie maybe make return or something. I keep waiting for one of them to pop up.
I'm sure that eventually it will.
Probably.
Yeah, because I would love seeing the black kid make a
me
return.
too.
He
see
was
what
good
he's.
too.
Yeah, I liked him. He was pretty good. Yeah, because we don't out of all the characters, we've not seen any of the characters from Child's Play 3.
Yeah,
No.
Child's Play 3 is honestly the one that has the least representation, because besides the
I think it's even less like than Seed.
Yeah, not that it's less like, but it's just the one that has less representation from the thing. Because the only time I can think we've referenced 3 since it happened was Andy's military school plaque that you see in Cult for one scene. I don't think it's been mentioned once in the actual series.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So that was a fantastic episode, and then of course we have the episode 4. Yeah.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. We get to see the three amigos get into the Halloween party.
I love their costumes. Love their costumes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting costumes. Jen wants to ask you a question.
Ooh,
who do you think is
Chris
who do you think is hotter?
Chris Sedan.
Chris
Sedan. I love Devon Sawa too. I love Devon Sawa because like I'm a 90s girl.
But also you're a Fright Night girl.
I'm a Fright Night girl first and foremost.
Jerry Dandridge did things for you.
Yeah, and Chris Sedan as a hot cop in Child's Play.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. And Prince Humperdinck, I guess.
You know.
Even the Tales from the Crypt movie was hot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so so we in the episode 4, the three amigos, they get to the they get to the White House. We get to see what they're trying to do, and then Chucky goes about his plan of trying to murder a whole bunch of people, but he's got on a Phantom of the Opera mask. I like the fact that they actually play into Halloween and thinking that the dead comes back to life, because we see a child that looks like actual Joseph Live running around in the same costume Chucky. We think it's Chucky, but we don't know if that's Chucky or not. But we get to see that, and Devon follows him around.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious. It could go one of two ways. It could go with like, oh, it was Chucky, and Devon was just projecting that onto Chucky running around, or like White House is haunted, and like that actually is just the ghost of the thing. Like introducing the idea of ghosts into this franchise would not remotely be out of the left field. So.
No, and there are some people who really do believe it's haunted.
Yeah. And they mentioned it a few times about the White House being haunted, so it wouldn't have come out of nowhere for the season if it actually does turn up to be the actual ghost for the kid.
And it's very poignant, and that's one thing that's even, and I love Chucky, but that was even kind of fucked up if it was him, because to do that to a grieving father, and Devon Sawa, the look on his face, I just was like, I thought that was astounding acting. I thought it was really good.
Because you can tell he's anguished and heartbroken. Because they're still affected by Joseph's death. What's this new documentary? I don't know what they're.
Living with Chucky. It's done by who does the effects work for the Child's Play franchise? I can't remember his name right now, but it's a documentary done by his daughter, exploring like the franchise and like growing up around it and viewing a bunch of the actors. It's a good documentary. I think it's actually available on YouTube right now for free.
Yeah, I had to check that out.
Yeah, it's a pretty good.
Jen was saying the same thing. She said she's going to do it. Cause I haven't seen that documentary yet.
Mm-hmm. It's just come out not too long ago.
Yeah, it came out like in the beginning of the year. It's a good doc. I'd recommend it.
Hello.
Hey,
Slash.
Yo. But one thing I also really like about like the Chucky wearing like the Phantom stuff is like Dawn leaning into like the Phantom of the Opera thing, and it's not just Chucky's wearing a Phantom of the Opera for this Halloween or something. They actually lean into it, like they use the music kind of like has a couple moments where it flares up and sounds a little bit like the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical,
Yes,
as well
the
as
chandelier.
the use of the chandelier, which is a massive set piece of the stage musical of the Phantom of the Opera. The big chandelier is a big part of it, so it's very apt that is what is the big murder weapon at the end of the episode.
It really, like, you wouldn't think Phantom of the Opera and Chucky work, especially modern day, but they blend so seamlessly.
It works pretty well, honestly.
It really does.
Yeah, and then of course we get the big chandelier death.
Mm-hmm.
which I
and
thought
he killed more people than he had to.
I know he killed more people than he had to. Yes, there was some interesting people. I think one of the best death scenes was we get to see that I forgot. I think I forgot the character's name. It looks like she's alive, but then her face peels off.
Oh, the nanny.
Yeah, the nanny.
Yeah, the Mary
That's
Poppins
what the nanny. Yeah.
That was a good one.
That was a fun one, actually. I like that I like that actress's performance and stuff.
It was odd.
She brought a very weird manic energy to the character, which I really liked.
It was at home on the show, and what I also liked, I didn't mean to cut you off, but one thing I liked in the chandelier scene is Jake saves Devin right
Devin
before it comes down, and I was like, oh,
that was a sweet little moment. I also like. I'm curious if we're going to further expand on this, or if she was just a red herring or something. But the reporter character who showed up in episode 2 and episode 1 briefly, and shows up in this episode again, just getting unceremoniously like cleaved in half and axed off. I'm wondering if she was just like a red herring for the thing, or if her story is actually going to go anywhere else, and her death will be further investigated since she was trying to uncover dirt on the White House.
I always felt she was going to cause some fuckery.
Yeah, I was curious what we're going to do with her, and if we are just not going to mention it anymore or something.
I didn't know, but the whole scene is just really, and so much happens so quickly. Really great scene.
Oh yes. Like I said, I think that's one of the better death scenes I've seen so far, other than Chucky sawing Lexi's mother in half.
That one
at Christmas.
That one's still pretty fun. That sounds still one of the best ones.
Then of course we get the final reveal. Oh, Chucky's dying, and he's an
I'm fucking dying.
Are you doing okay? I'm fucking dying.
That only Brad Dourif can do.
I know. Yes. He really had fun with that role. But I thought that was a great line, and to end the episode and the first part of season 3 was that Chucky's dying, and it looks like nothing can save him.
Yeah, it looks like this is Chucky's last ride, ostensibly. I'm sure he never will come back at all, and this is where the franchise is going to end. But yeah, like I'm very curious to see, like, because it's kind of an interesting thing to see, because like we've had pretty much like constantly no stakes with Chucky, and she's acknowledged this in the series of like, I can die a crap ton and I'm perfectly fine.
I always come back.
Death means nothing to me. So I feel like this is almost Dawn reinstating like death does matter in this franchise a little bit, and even like the face of it still is in danger for this season. He's ramping up the stakes.
But dying is such a bitch. I loved the promo, like kind of the sneak peek right after. We got to talk about one thing.
Yeah,
I'm so excited to talk about it with you, Montier.
Yeah,
one person.
That promo.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, because that's what I said in my review of season 1. I said this is the first time that Chucky is in danger. And he might not be able to get out of it. So I really like that aspect of what they've done so far this season, because obviously we didn't know, because Chucky never really kills anybody at random. There's always a purpose to his killing. And then we finally get the reason why, and the fact that he still can't appease Damballa, whatever the problem is going to have to figure something out to finally get Damballa to get back with him and then restore his health.
Yeah. I'm really curious what it is. Like, I made a joke in the first episode of like, what's Chucky's plan to start World War III or something? But I'm like, I mean, he is desperate at this point. Maybe he will just say screw it and like try to launch a nuke or something. That would be interesting.
I would really like it, but I just loved that promo. The two things that stuck out to me, one was the phone call with Jennifer Tilly. And again, they're always fighting. They're like this very toxic couple, but she's like, if it were me, I would just rally around and just take as many people as I can with me. And it's a very loving way. I mean, it's sweet. It shows the romantic
they have a
side.
fucked up relationship, but they still did have a fucked up love at one point, and that still can be prominent.
And I like that. I wonder if they're going to kind of become again something that they once were. The other thing, I'm so happy about this is Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif, or at least Brad Dourif playing somebody, or I don't know what he's doing, but he's going to be in his human form in the show. Oh my god!
Yeah, no, I saw that. I said, "Wow, way to go, Brad! Brad's actually going to play a character other than Chucky, being the voice of Chucky." I bet I bet him and Don probably had a good laugh about trying to do that.
I'm so excited.
So that's going to be pretty interesting. We obviously we still don't have an air date about what's coming up, or when the second half of the last 4 episodes of supposed to be sometime in 2024, but with the actor strike still going on, still hasn't been resolved, so we don't know when it's going to take place. Glad that the writer strike is up with, so I'm pretty sure I don't know if they've written the other 4 episodes yet before the strike happened or not, or if they're now banging those out. So all they got to do is film them, but we just don't know yet.
Yeah. I hopefully we'll get them sooner rather than later.
I imagine, because due to how much footage we have already done, I imagine like probably most of the season's filmed, and once the strike is over and the studios give the goddamn workers the proper pay they deserve, they probably will get them banged out pretty quickly.
I hope so, because I really would love to finish what we're starting here, because I think we're starting on a ride and it's just getting good.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Like I said, they've done a fantastic job with this season. Like I said before, this is the best season so far of the Chucky season. Now we just need to bring Megan in.
No fucking Megan. Or if they kill her, fine. If Chucky just kills the bitch, I'm fine with that. But fuck Megan. I fucking hate Megan. I'm gonna say it.
I can't remember who said it, but when we brought it up on the stream last night, somebody did say they would have been fine with a Chucky versus Megan if it's just a recreation of the opening scene of Scream with Megan filling in the Drew Barrymore role.
Now that'd be okay. I'd be okay. Okay, yeah, there was someone else who didn't like Megan either.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. That was someone brought that up on our stream last night. So
yeah. Oh boy. Oh man.
I'm sorry. No hate to all you Megan lovers, but I don't like the bitch. I don't.
That's okay. We still love you, Jen.
Oh, thank you.
We still tolerate you, honey.
Tolerate.
Oh man. Oh yeah, Sean just asked us. He just texted me a question about the horror hangout, because he knows we were so busy with Halloween. He wanted to know whether or not we're going to do one for November or take a break.
Ooh, okay, we'll get to that.
Well, we're okay. We're cool, but whatever everyone else wants to do.
Hey, I'm fine. I'm willing to do it.
I'm willing to do it too.
Yeah, I know.
I actually have an idea. We'll talk later, but I have an idea.
Megan is better than Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, Scott. Also, hey, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
I have not watched it yet, so we'll see. The verdict's still out on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you, Scott. Yeah. Megan is better than Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, I'm surprised you guys haven't seen it yet.
It was one that wasn't like, besides Matthew Lillard, there wasn't much, because I never had an attachment to the games or anything. So it's one we're definitely going to do. It's definitely going to be one we do in November.
Yeah, there were other priorities.
Yeah,
because I never played any of the games neither. Mm-hmm. So from what I understand, from what I read about it, they did bring some aspects to the game into this particular movie. Mm-hmm. But don't watch my review.
we don't ever watch it until after we see something.
Yeah, no.
Okay, yeah, because I do this. Yeah, I do the same thing too because I wait until after I watch it and put up my review before I watch anybody else. So that way my
Thoughts are your own.
yeah, my thoughts are my own, and that way people can't consider you're copying the same thing other guy. No, those are my own thoughts.
Those are my own opinions. We just happen to have similar opinions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we've heard things about Five Nights at Freddy's.
I know pretty much if you're a fan of the games, you're going to love it. And if you're not, you're going to think, wow, this is a convoluted mess. And the fans of the games are just like, yes, that is the franchise.
Even people who don't like the Nicolas Cage movie, most people say they prefer that over Willy's Wonderland. They preferred that over the Five Nights at Freddy's. I've heard of people say that.
We'll definitely
because it's like this. I was surprised. One critic loved it, and then one critic called it dog shit.
Yep. That sounds like a modern horror movie.
Yeah.
Sounds like a modern day horror movie, all right.
That is. But that's the way it always goes. But we are getting Terrifier as a Christmas movie. I'm excited about that.
That's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, I heard that there's going to be 2 horror Christmas movies. One is called The Creature Was Stirring, and then there's supposed to be some other Christmas horror movie, but with
the knife, something with a knife.
It's a Wonderful Knife. That's in November.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I heard that. Yeah, that one, and then there's another trailer that I saw right before we got on the stream. I can't remember, but it has to do something with elves.
Okay.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one yet.
Yes, rated R Megan. We want a rated R Megan.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we still have to watch the unrated.
Yes, we do gotta watch the unrated.
We gotta watch the whale first.
We'll do that. But yeah, we'll do that. But no, I would definitely. I want Megan. I want R-rated Megan. I
don't want any Megan. I don't.
Fair, honestly.
Yeah, it's fair. Anyway, so on that note, once again, I want to thank you and Christian for coming on and talking once again about Chucky.
Thank you so much for having us. We're sorry about the little hiccup earlier with the.
Yeah, it's okay. It happens. So, just when I host my live streams, what's going on the channel for Jen's Reviews from the Grave?
We're gonna take a cut because we did the whole 31 days and we're a little tired, so we're gonna take a couple of days just to kind of reboot, and then we've got a few, but we want to play catch up. I've heard things about the Jester. That's definitely one we want to see, and there's a couple of others that I'm really interested in seeing. And Sparky wants to see Slaughterhouse.
But yeah, some catch up ones, as well as we have our usual November retrospective of a horror franchise, and this year's is interesting. We actually are going to be talking about at least one of the films is like an Oscar-winning, like multiple Oscar-winning big film it's a franchise adapted from a fairly famous book series, and it also had a long-running TV show that people desperately want back. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting retrospective, I think.
Yeah, we're looking forward to talking about it.
I have an idea I know what that is too.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
But we're going to do a real big deep dive. This is going to be one of our big deep dives. We're going to be talking a lot of different aspects.
So that'll be
okay. That's good. Now, of course, on my channel, I just put up my review of Suitable Flesh. I should have my review of When Evil Lurks, and then, of course, I'll have my review of Hell House LLC. I'll have that up sometime next week because I have to watch it first. I have to watch it. Yeah, I have to watch it first before I watch anybody else's reviews. So once again, I want to thank Jen and Christain for joining me. I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us as well. So once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember that horror rules. All right, good night, everybody. Stay safe out there. Please stay safe out there.
Stay safe. Be excellent to each other.
Penis.